This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
And welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Got caught on the telephone there. Our program being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, South Greeley Highway, along with downtown on Cary Avenue, corner of Del Range and Ridge, Pershing and Ridge, and again on the north side on Yellowstone Road. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where the lot is filled with 2020s from Key of Cheyenne. Platte Valley Bank times 2, banking done the old-fashioned way, done the modern technological way. Find Platte Valley Bank over on Vanda High and again on the east side at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range right across from Menards and Powers Field. Open 6 days a week. Yeah, Monday through Saturday, serving up 3 delicious squares, including their absolutely fabulous breakfast. They got 2 convenient drive-thrus or dine in at Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Medicare Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, see Gene and the great crew Monday through Saturday. Shop inside or use the convenient drive-thru outside. Again, located next door to Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. Your home for Maytag, GE, Frigidaire, Whirlpool, and a plethora of other goodies at B&B Appliance and TV. Lennox Auto Body, the main repair center over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, both part of Lennox Enterprises, serving our community for over a quarter century. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, where, again, check out their CD rates. You'll find some really good savings right now over at First Tier Bank, open Monday through Friday. 1508 Stillwater Avenue, across the street of 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons for 5 decades now. Joe Mondello has been bringing delicious Paisan cuisine. His pizza's ranked in the top 10 by the Food Networks. We're talking about Mondello's Pizzeria. Open 7 days a week, noon until 8 on Sundays. 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. And at scoreboard time, it's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
From this past weekend with LCCC men's and women's basketball, we'll start with the women's side of things, where at least both squads were on the road. We'll start in Riverton on Thursday at Central Wyoming, where LCCC lost that contest 67 to, at least they got the win, They won 67-52. The men, however, taking on that at least Rustlers team up there in Riverton, lost that contest 80-69. Move over to Saturday at Sheridan College for the women. That was a loss 67-59. And for LCCC men, at least taking on that at least Generals team, they lost that contest 96-74. So for LCCC, the Lady Golden Eagles, with the 1-1 split from this past weekend, they moved to 14-6 overall. For LCCC, the Golden Eagles, the men's squad that went 0-2 this past weekend, they fall to 3-15 overall. NHL action for tonight. Boston Bruins at home at TD Garden will host the Vegas Golden Knights. New York Rangers at home at Madison Square Garden will take on the New York Islanders. Winnipeg Jets will travel to Carolina to see the Hurricanes at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. The Flyers will host the Pittsburgh Penguins. And last but not least, at the United Center, the Chicago Blackhawks will take on the Florida Panthers. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
All right, what do I have? I only have one thing for you, and it's on the NBA side. It's one game, and it's the Dallas Mavericks. They're in action for this evening. They will be in Big D at American Airlines Arena. They'll play host to the Los Angeles Clippers. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
At Mountain Dew, we say here's to the doers.
The people who know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Who do it big.
Then do it bigger.
Who don't just watch.
So if there's something you want to do,
here's a little advice.
Grab yourself an ice-cold Mountain Dew.
And get to it.
That's right. Get going.
Get started.
Stand up.
Jump up.
Grab hold of it.
Throw down on it.
Run with it.
Now. Right now.
Not tomorrow.
Not next week.
Next month.
Next year.
Work it out.
Grind it out.
Get stoked.
Get passionate.
And do it.
Do it till it hurts.
Do it till you can't.
Do it till you've done it.
And most of all, don't ask how other people do it.
Don't ask how you should do it.
Don't ask if it can be done.
Don't ask if it's ever been done.
Because there are those who don't.
And those who do.
At Mountain Dew, we say,
let's do.
Let's do.
Let's do. Let's do.
Do the do.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Wyoming Sports Talk today. As we were on the road, we have been road warriors as well as the young ladies and young men for LCCC, but we are back home for a day. Now we're back on the road again. Tomorrow.
Unfortunately, yeah. Heading back, at least heading out to Rock Springs, where supposedly good weather, or at least hopefully we don't run into anything.
Fair weather.
We'll see about it. Again, it's a complete crapshoot out there in that at least part of the world. So, again, as we saw the cancellation or at least rescheduling of the Casper College contest as I-80 was closed over this past weekend, they had to reschedule those games between Western Wyoming and Casper to Sunday, which they did get underway. So, again, we've been stuck out there before. Who knows what's going to happen, but anticipating that, yes, we will have games tomorrow night, 5:30 and 7:30, as we will have women's action taking on men. How about two completely different teams? It kind of seems appropriate that we have a yin and yang kind of matchup on both sides of the women and the men. You know, you look at it get posted on this, at least online, how accurate the standings are. Fairly accurate, or at least kind of where the placement is for majority of these teams. Posted it on Twitter and also to Facebook. We'll have to at least kind of convene with coaches just to double check and make sure how things in order go. But, you know, looking at Region 9 North, at least the women's standing so far for the matchup coming up at least tomorrow night, LCCC standing overall 14-6, 3-1 in Region 9 North after their loss to Sheridan, at least this past Saturday, taking on a Western Wyoming Lady Mustangs team that's 3-15 overall, 0-4 in Region 9 North. You look on the men's side of things for LCCC after their back-to-back losses this past weekend. They're 3-15 overall, 1-3 in Region 9 North at 1, at least coming against Northwest up there in Powell, taking on a 18-2, 4-0 Western Wyoming men's squad, the Mustangs, who are in the national rankings. They are top 25, top 10. Again, without seeing the current rankings coming out, at least came out today, Western Wyoming is high up top, at least near probably pushing that top 5 ranking, national ranking across at least the NJCAA Division I. So, again, you got two yin and yang matchups where for both good possibilities coming up tomorrow night, we could see blowouts, one in favor and one against, at least our LCCC squads.
You know, I'm agree with you on that. And again, too, let's go first to the ladies' side. The ladies, a couple things. They played, and I used the word clumsy during the broadcast, and I think they were. They made way too many mistakes. Again, there's other obstacles that they had to overcome, and we'll get to that here in a minute. They got to play much better. I think the loss that we had at Sheridan is going to be one that's going to come back and haunt them. I really do.
It's a team that's playing with overconfidence, I think, at this point in time, where, you know, you look at this past matchup with Central Wyoming, another team that was down and out on the women's side. Currently, they stand at 4-13 overall. They're 0-5 in Region 9 North action, at least on the women's side, the Lady Rustlers. You barely, again, 67-52 did not indicate how close this game actually was for LCCC to come away with that victory. This is a scenario that we're seeing right now with LCCC. They're playing down to opponents. And I think that's easy to say, where you play down to Powell, play down to that Northwest squad, you play down to Central Wyoming. You put out your best effort. It was albeit a sloppy effort against at least Casper at home, but you still got that top 25, at least upset victory against the Lady Thunderbirds. And then at Sheridan, there was a multitude of factors. We'll talk about one big one as well, too, at the Golden Dome, but that was a scenario that LCCC clearly just did not show up. They shot themselves in the foot majority of that contest. They hurt themselves with that loss against the Lady Generals.
Yeah. And again, let's be very candid here. The candidness is the officiating, especially in that part of the world. And I'm sick and tired of it. I really am sick and tired of it. Region 9 North or Region 9 in general needs to seriously look at what, and again, It's all right there in black and white, or in your case, in color. The incident in the fourth quarter. This is just one of the things that bothers me. Again, there's coaches' boxes. You're not supposed to come out of those coaches' boxes. And,
and we saw this last year as well, too. Again, you look at the footage from last year's contest up in Sheridan to this past Saturday's up in Sheridan between LCCC and Sheridan on the women's side of things, where we go back to last year, how quickly Coach Ortmeyer was teed up by that officiating crew. How about for, again, without at least remembering the head coach's name for Sheridan off the top of my head right now, but, again.
Brad, it's going to.
Ryan Davis or something. Again, I'm going to butcher it, but either way, though, the head coach for the Lady Generals
I'll look it up.
Basically went above and beyond what Coach Ortmeyer did last season to get teed up there in the Golden Dome. Yet, again, as he pushed the envelope well beyond the edge.
Ryan Davis.
That was cool. See, I was right.
You were close.
I said Ryan Davis, so I was right.
Wrong.
So either way, though, again, what we saw, was there a little bit of home cooking this past Saturday up in Sheridan? I think without a doubt. I think of what you saw out there on the court, I think without a doubt. And there's indications seeing that, again, how friendly fans were being with those officials also, too, shaking hands and at least having lengthy conversations with locals up there in Sheridan. Also, too, going over and talking with head coach Ryan Davis, having a little chat and shaking his hand. But, you don't go over and say, pleasantries to Coach Ortmeyer before the game? We saw that last year. We saw the exact same thing where, again, they're familiar up there. They're known. And is there something a little bit at stake, or is it a situation of that you want to appease those local fans there, being that you are the local crew? I don't know. Who knows at this point in time, but it was a serious issue this past Saturday. It is something that Region 9, or at least the NJCAA, or whatever the governing body over, what is happening on the officiating crew out here in this Rocky Mountain region, needs to take a look at what happened this past Saturday. And again, Coach Ortmeyer in the postgame comments kind of put up some valid arguments of what, how bad they were.
Well, and again, too, and it altered the play. And what I found out, these officials that end up in that area are from the Casper-Sheridan region. So, obviously you're going to get a little home cooking. I know that they're supposed to be down the middle. But let's be real honest. And again, it is there for you to watch on YouTube or Periscope via Twitter, where Ryan Davis on a charging call by Trosper comes charging out onto the court. He wasn't just a couple feet. And again, there's leeway the officials let you have.
Slight leeway, but nothing.
I mean, he is out halfway onto the court and dressing down the official.
And not even
a warning.
Not even a warning.
What kind of crap is that?
That's an indication that those refs
they were gutless.
Yeah,
they were gutless through the entire game. And again, I've been trying to bite my tongue a lot on some of this stuff, but when it gets really outlandish, how many fouls do we have? Almost 40 plus fouls,
something like that.
We had 5 kids foul out.
The stats weren't even correct, at least of the official stats. There, we had incorrect scores as well too. So again, it was pushing a lot.
Over 70 free throws shot in that game.
It was ridiculous.
Tell me the game had any ebb and flow in it. Tell me
0.
Tell me what the young ladies learned by that contest. Like Coach Ortmeyer said in the postgame, what you were leading up to, is that they were timid. They were afraid to.
You were afraid to do anything. You were afraid to be aggressive on the inside. Again, how many times did we see that number 30 for Sheridan be aggressive, get on the inside, where basically LCCC let her kind of walk on in because they were going to get the foul call.
That was the green kid, and then the Oscar young lady. I mean, she's reaching over for rebounds and no calls. So again, the crew that was out there. And I state this very specifically now.
Crew that also too again
should never work a JUCO game again. They should not.
Did not realize possession arrows called jump balls way too early. Again, it was a complete mess in that women's game. I'm
embarrassed. I would be embarrassed if I had those guys.
I'd be embarrassed if I was Sheridan College and I was that athletic department of how you allow that on your court. How do you allow that in the Golden Dome?
They don't care. It's all about winning.
Yeah. That's the unfortunate thing, and you got your win. I don't think Sheridan. What this past
are they the better team?
No,
No.
And I think we're going to see that later down this line. Taking a look at the at least upcoming schedule for the women. February 8th, 2 p.m. here in town, taking on that same Lady Generals team. You're going to probably see a different story.
And we have referees that come up from Denver. We don't have any Cheyenne officials that do these games. They're out of Denver. And they're not the greatest thing since sliced bread, don't get me wrong. But the point is, I'm getting so sick and tired of being homered up there. And again, we saw it last year. We saw it again this year. And this stinks. This really stinks. And again, what message are you sending to this basketball team? Now, again, as they're practicing, and I know they're getting ready for Western Wyoming, you're going to see an entirely different crew. I think this crew usually comes out of Utah.
Out of Salt Lake, or at least around the region.
So, again, you got to, right away, you got to find out how they're calling the game. Again,
it's unfair to players. And again, it's on both women and men. And it's not even JUCO. It's D1, D2, D3 throughout college basketball. And you can even see it in high school where you have no consistency on fouls and no consistency on how do you play the game of basketball due to the fact that it is, that kind of individualized, at least, effort by those officiating crews. Again, how many times have we seen a fast-paced women's game and then it's slow to a call to this past Saturday?
How many times did they huddle up because they weren't sure of the calls?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I mean, I think we got them down there about 5 times huddling up because they didn't know what they called.
But here we are in college and high school where we're trying to still learn the game, try to better at least these student athletes, whether it is on the women or the men's side. And you have this inconsistency of, okay, well, if you're going to call that this time and this ref the last time doesn't call it, what's the right way then? Where you again, it almost becomes that situation for those young ladies or young men where you get in your mind of, well, is that a charge? Did I do that incorrectly? My hands were up. I thought that was the way to do it. You kind of second guess yourself, where it kind of alters your play style, and also to again where you just become that different player. You get influenced by bad officiating crews, and it takes away from your talent. It takes away from your game, and I think that's what we saw this past Saturday. Those officiating crew, at least those 3 referees that were on the court, who should never,
ever referee a JUCO game again.
They shouldn't ref any basketball ever again, in my opinion. Because, again, it does a disservice to even the high school ranks up there in Sheridan if they're going to call Sheridan high basketball or throughout at least northern Wyoming.
Well, and now interim athletic director Cindy Henning was watching the video as well. So, I don't know what her role is if she sends a note out. Because I think we suggest
some sort of formal protest.
Again, we're not asking for the outcome to be changed.
The outcome is
lost
the
again. Yeah, they lost 67-59. But this crew should never, ever work another JUCO game again. Now, if they get sent back, if they're high school officials, that's up to that. It's up to the Wyoming High School Activities Association to let them know that they are now high school officials. I wouldn't let them do a varsity game.
No.
Because, again,
it's a disservice.
The game is too fast for them.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 older guys were not good, first and foremost. The younger guy was the worst of the 3. And again, I go back to when Ryan Davis came out on the court. There would have been 3 T's slapped on him right away.
There should have been.
I mean, all the officials right there should have said, you're teed up. But no.
That was a move by Coach Davis that it should not be allowed.
They didn't even recognize that he was on the floor.
Yeah.
They were too busy coming over to the scorer's desk to whistle the offensive charge and let play go on. And again, like I said, you get sick and tired of it. I've called enough games, and I've seen enough basketball, whether it's here, whether it's Sheridan, whether it's in Evanston. I've seen enough basketball. But to see crap what I saw Saturday with the guys in the stripes, first and foremost, that's unacceptable. And I will call it out from now on.
Yeah.
Because I am not going to take that anymore, especially when, again, I'm the homer guy. You are too. We're there cheering for LCCC. But when we have to sit there and bite our lip, and say, that's not a good call. Hey, it's a horrible call, and these guys should be reprimanded for this game. If I graded this, and you made a point during the broadcast where we sit up at War Memorial Stadium and the Mountain West Conference head officials there, and he's grading these guys.
Take notes.
He's taking notes, and he's writing down every play that they were involved in and how many times they go to the replay. If there was a JUCO, a Region 9 official there, I guarantee you, and I would have went into the locker room after the game, I would have graded them no better than a D-.
I give them straight F. That was pretty pathetic.
Well, yeah, but again without grading
it's
an
not
F.
good where you questioned your own judgment calls out there. Again, how many times did they have to? They said one call, changed their mind, didn't realize what the possession arrow was, didn't realize who had the basketball. Again, how many times did we had shot clock issues that they did not even address or even know about. And again, on those jump balls, it should be a fresh 20. They realized that at the end of the game. They realized that in the fourth quarter.
There was one that skimmed off the rim, and they gave it to LCCC with 1 second left. And Coach Ortmeyer's going,
it hit the rim. Yeah. We were saying the same thing of it should reset that clock. It hit the rim clear.
It had us questioning their calls. But again, here's the deal.
It showed to me that they didn't know the game of basketball, or at least the rules.
You had the younger guy underneath where he's right in front of the play, and he makes the call, and then the guy from the farthest, again, where they do their little triangles, the guy from half court overrules the guy underneath the bucket who had the best view of it. I mean, it was right there at the inbounds.
Yeah.
So, again, Sheridan College, you got problems. Either address it or maybe you guys need to fork out a little more money to have officials come elsewhere. Come from elsewhere, not in your own backyard.
From Billings or something.
Yeah, because this group that you have working for you in your area stinks.
It was terrible.
And again, this is on the ladies' side.
It's on the vein where we got to at least offhand at least talk with Coach Ortmeyer after
2 years in a row.
Basically said, can we not go to Sheridan anymore? Can we just basically say, hey, they're off that Region 9 North schedule and just avoid them altogether?
It'd be cheaper to forfeit.
Yeah, it's probably better in the long run that you just go, yeah, we're not taking you on anymore. We're tired of this. And just kind of form some sort of formal protest against the Lady Generals, or at least playing up there against Sheridan College in that Golden Dome.
So, again, to that group of officials, and again, I wish you watched that video. You suck. And you should never work again, at least in the JUCO. I guarantee you they'll be back on the floor.
We had so many issues, though. Again, whether it was officials, whether it was score issues, scoreboard, at least failures, it was a whole thing. It just felt like that game was doomed to be just terrible from the get-go with LCCC.
And that was the matinee performance. The nightcap wasn't much better. And that's just talking about on the floor.
Again, you talk about at least comparing from the women's to the men's game. Men's game flew by because that officiating crew basically allowed the teams to play, called very limited fouls. The ones that they did call were pretty much pertinent of, okay, I get it. Were there a few ticky-tack kind of hand checks?
Yeah,
every once in a while, but it was not as intense as the women's game. But, again, you saw two different ball games on that floor that night up there in Sheridan between two different officiating crews that one allowed them to play, realize the rules of basketball, compared to the women's contest where they didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah, I agree. And again, going
the scores table didn't even know what the hell they were doing. And that was notable from the stats that we actually got. It had an incorrect score.
Yeah, for a collegiate program that has a very good reputation.
Again,
that was a very poorly run weekend.
And I'll put a good amount of blame on that officiating crew in that women's contest, but also too, I put some blame on that athletic department up there in Sheridan. That is pretty pathetic.
Bush. It's Bush. That's the bottom line. You go back and you look at that game on the men's side. Golden Eagles got problems. They got a lot of problems. And
this is a team where you look at least upcoming on the schedule for LCCC, and again, looking at the standings currently, or at least kind of where all teams sit in Region 9 North on the men's side. Western Wyoming, they are, again, undefeated in Region 9 North at 4-0, 18-2. They did get the victory against Casper College this past Sunday. Gillette College is right behind them at 17-2 overall, 3-1. Casper College 16-3. They are 3-1 in Region 9 North. Sheridan College with the victory over LCCC, they're 14-6 overall, 2-2 in Region 9 North. Central Wyoming 12-7. They are 2-2 in Region 9 North. Then we get to the bottom feeders right now of Northwest College at 9-11. They are 1-3. LCCC is 3-15. They do have the one win against Northwest College, but they stand at 1-3. And Eastern Wyoming, surprising in Region 9 North, they're 0-4, but they are 10-9 overall. So right now, again, LCCC on the overall record, they're dead last. But in Region 9 North, where again you have that point system in, again, you have the one win over at least Northwest. You have one win more than what Eastern Wyoming has currently. So you're not dead last, but this is a Golden Eagles team that is flirting with dead last. And to find another win where you kind of look back to that Powell victory, this at least, again, as that first Region 9 North action for LCCC, you wonder if that was the lone win for the LCCC Golden Eagles on this slate here in 2020.
I don't know.
We talk about the Cowboys. Same goes on the vein for at least the LCCC Golden Eagles. Where are they going to pick up another win? I don't see it. Could they beat Eastern Wyoming? I think they're a better team than what that 0-4 indicates in Region 9 North.
But I also believe that they can probably split with Eastern. I believe that they get Northwest at the rack. There's a chance that they could actually sweep that one.
But you are not beating Western. That's 2 right there. You're not beating Casper. That's 1 up there. You're not beating at least Gillette. That's 2. Against that squad that is very talented. Sheridan coming down here, sorry. Sheridan's going to probably be a little bit better, at least kind of fine-tune things when they come down to the rack.
Got to go to Casper.
Yeah, you got to go to Casper. And then
twice.
Central Wyoming that comes back down here. Central Wyoming proved that they got a lot of talent on that team, too.
And again, here, there's the word, talent. Again, we saw.
I think again, don't say that LCCC doesn't have talent. They have talent.
No,
this is a talent. Again, this is a team that is not a team. It's individuals out there.
That's right. And unfortunately, the one young man that we were waiting for to return did, and it also helped out one Eric Oliver. It took a lot of pressure off Eric as he started at the point, then got a chance to be at the 2, where he blossomed. He's flourishing. And he didn't let anybody down. He was hitting. For some reason, he wasn't shooting as much in the second half. But, going back to the individual portion of the program, it just reigns supreme with this team until they become a unit out there on the floor and work whatever the coaches are instructing them to do.
Yeah.
And again,
this is a team
the guys are frustrated. So are the coaches. You don't think the coaches aren't frustrated?
Yeah, with 3 of 15, where, again, for Coach Fickett, this is the first time that they've been kind of this bad in his tenure here at LCCC. That
he's been in this business a long time. I think he knows a little bit about basketball.
Yeah, 200 career, at least, victories at LCCC. Again, not at least in his entire coaching career, but, again, just at LCCC, he's at least hit that mark of 200 wins. This is a scenario right now for LCCC. You got a lot of, again, it's a team that makes a lot of boneheaded mistakes. A lot of boneheaded just plays
right before the half.
I'll go to that Central Wyoming. I don't know if you're about to allude to this, but again, where we look at Mateo Zovko, he hits up and down cold spells, hot streaks. He fluctuates throughout a game. He can hit those big time threes, but then also too he can do that Euro step that gets called for a travel. He can get in his own mind, get a little frustrated, make some bad mistakes. We spotlight that Rustler's game. I do believe it was sometime in the second half of that contest where Mateo, again, showing that frustration, takes the basketball, decides to kick it out of bounds, gets the automatic tee. Where I said, yeah, doesn't surprise me you got teed up for that one. Not a smart play.
2 free throws and then get the ball out for the other team. Well, here's another situation. You look back where LCCC cut it to 4. They were rallying back against Sheridan on Saturday. They take the ball out.
They were down by 21 and cut it down to that much, yeah.
Yeah, and then what did they do? They're on this streak, and we're talking right before the half. They get the ball out, and what did they do? They try to force one in, and they force it right into the hands of Sheridan. What did they do? Put it up and in.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, you go into the locker room, you're down by 8. I mean, again, you could have took it down, could have cut it anywhere to 2-1.
Yeah.
But no, then you turn around, and it's a 4-point swing. So, again, the mistakes they make are just uncalled for. Uncalled for.
You're making high school mistakes where you need to realize it's JUCO basketball. You need to man up, so to speak, and realize what level you're playing at right now. because your high school play is not getting it done here in D1 JUCO basketball, even here in Region 9 in the Rocky Mountain region where, yes, it is lower population. It is not the Texas of the world, Florida, California, where those teams would probably put up a 60-point, 70-point victory over this team right now. You should be thankful you're playing in this region.
And remember what you said there, too, about the high schools. And this goes out to parents or high schoolers that actually listen. You might be able to, in where you're currently playing, take a playoff or two. You know, that's how things go, and you might still put the ball down on the floor. It's different when you move to the next level. Remember, you're going from one level to the next. It's bigger. It's faster. It's stronger.
Yeah.
You need to stop putting the ball on the floor.
Which we're seeing.
You got to be up and down 40 minutes, Nick.
Which we are seeing that evolution from Ash. Saw a little bit of improvement from Caleb on the inside where they're starting to learn it, but they still make that kind of dumb mistake. And it still costs them.
Yeah.
But we are seeing those evolutions from both of those bigs, Ash and Caleb, right now, of that they are improving that game on the aspect on the inside. We saw Caleb be a little bit more aggressive on the inside. Granted, he wasn't being overshadowed by a taller player, so at least he didn't really have to worry about that and kind of be that aggressor out on the floor. So we saw a little confidence in himself. We saw him kind of improve. Courtney Dean, again, the guy who fluctuates through games, he's trying to get consistent. I give Courtney Dean at least little leeway. We saw it against Central Wyoming, both offense and defense. Courtney Dean's, he's showing up to games. He's getting a little bit more consistent on just being that overall good player every single contest.
Well, and again, too,
Eric is finding the offensive rhythm. He's getting back at that swing where he had that cold spell we talked about a couple weeks ago, if not a couple months ago, where he was having a little difficulty getting, at least finding points on the board. But he's now finding some consistency and some confidence in himself. But you know, we talk about Mateo. Mateo's kind of way up and down. He goes from hot and cold. He has boneheaded mistakes. Is he the player that's costing this team? No. Is there an individual, someone that is costing this team? Not really. The only guy I'm going to spotlight, unfortunately, again, due to the fact that he is a vet on this team, that being one Kyle Capps. He has not shown up for quite some time. He tried
a little bit here Saturday against Sheridan. Here's the deal. The last two games, and I know they're not played on paper, but size-wise, the last two games, we've matched up. Yeah. I know they were a little bigger inside at Central. But let's be real. The sophomore play, as opposed to our sophomore play, is way better. The sophomores are way better. And for our freshmen that are getting some playing time right now, they're being schooled by the freshmen on the other teams.
No.
Let McClanahan, he's what, 5'11"?
He is very good. He is a very talented player for Sheridan.
I mean, come on. And then the other kid, too. He's a sophomore. And again, I mean, you know, I don't know what more advice or
if you're Coach Fick,
commentary we can make about it. Again, these guys either pull your heads out or you're going to get a mud hole stomped on you.
You're going to get boat raced.
And right now,
anticipate that
the ladder's
happening.
The ladder's happening. And if you guys, you know, I wouldn't even throw this on the coaching staff right now. Maybe I guess the only thing I would say to the coaching staff, you better recruit better.
Yeah.
You better recruit some guys that got some size. You know, again, I look at an Onyx Jackson. Too bad you don't have about 3 of those guys that are about 6'9". You might be undefeated. You need somebody like that in the middle to knock the snot out of people.
And again, the one thing with Onyx is this is his second game that he got in on Sheridan where he got his first points.
And he's 6'4".
He's 6'4", and he's a wide body, but also, too, again, a late walk-on for LCCC. So, again, he's been off the court for quite some time, or at least in the competitive stint from being at Cheyenne East. But, yeah, without a doubt, again, you need the size, you need the height. You realize that is what's killing you. Again, you got to find that talent. Now, where do you find that talent? Again, where you're fighting against now Western Wyoming, you're fighting against Gillette, Casper, Otero, Western Nebraska. You got a lot of teams here in just this region. Not even looking outside in D1, D2, RMAC in the Colorado ranks. Just in this region, you're fighting against a lot of schools that are, again, You're looking at Western Wyoming, top 25 team, Gillette, top 25 team, Otero, top 25 team. You got a lot of teams that are making national ranks that are a lot of these products.
And
again,
where
as
do you
we're
want to
seeing,
go? And again, too, I don't know. I don't know, Nick, what the scholarship values are. I don't know what LCCC offers as opposed to Sheridan or Western Nebraska. I don't know what that is, and that's not my department.
Yeah.
But the point is, we're here right at the hub.
You gotta pull a Billy Bean. If you got money issues, you gotta pull a Billy Bean and figure out what you can get for the money you got.
And again, you need to get talent that's a little bit better. That's about all. And again, don't want to use the words bigger, faster, stronger, but first off, you're going to need somebody that is an impact player right away. Impact player is one of them on the floor right now, and that's Cheyenne's own Eric Oliver.
Yeah. You can build a team around him without a doubt. He is your team leader without a doubt. We know that for sure.
And I would hope Eric decides to hang around for his sophomore year. And like you said, let's build that team for him next year.
I don't blame him if he moves on to the next level after this season of how rough it is, though.
I don't know.
I wouldn't blame him.
I would hope he would stick around and
we hope so, because again he's a phenomenal player, phenomenal athlete that again could do something special with LCCC if you build pieces around him to complement the guy to get him to that next level, or at least be a successful and winning program.
All right, here are calls tomorrow. We'll be at Rock Springs, Western Wyoming, against the Lady Phillies and the Mustangs. That will be 5:30 for the ladies, 7:30 for the guys. Going to take a timeout, come back quickly, talk about the Cowgirls, Cowboys, and we got a press conference on the way from Alan Edwards. So we're going to take a quick timeout. Back after this.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Compassionate, expert, efficient care. The cornerstones of Cheyenne Urological with doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and Suleski, providing top-notch treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities. And now, Cheyenne Urological is offering Resume, a new non-invasive procedure for BPH using water vapor. So for the finest in urinary care, call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for well over 50-plus years. Not only do we offer several major brands, but we service what we sell. We also have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts in the service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
When you are dealing with the Coin Shop to buy, sell, or trade your gold, silver, or other precious metals, you will be met with honesty, fairness, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. The Coin Shop has been serving Cheyenne since 1982 and is a respected member of our community. Call David today at 778-7196 to meet privately or visit during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. The Coin Shop, a dealer you can trust, 510 West 16th Street.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 50 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 30 and winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 45, and on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 21.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, just a couple of minutes away or so, with head coach Alan Edwards and his press conference as they look ahead towards San Diego State. So are the Cowgirls, and they got a little lesson this past Saturday where they need to be because they're kind of far away from the top. The Lady Bulldogs at Fresno State put a whooping on 30 points in Fresno. The Cowgirls now 4-4.
You're seeing an indication of what the Cowgirls are. They're about a mediocre team at best right now.
Middle of the pack.
Yeah, middle of the pack. Not going to do anything special. I don't anticipate this team to go far in the Mountain West tournament. Will they make a WNIT appearance? Highly unlikely. This is a team that is pretty much going through growing pains. That is, a young team that is developing under a new head coach. That's pretty much what you're seeing right now with the Wyoming Cowgirls. So a team that sits, I do believe, sub 500 right now overall, struggling in the Mountain West Conference. But, it is what it is.
Might get a little revenge against San Diego State. They lost in San Diego 67-60. Probably could get them at the AA. Speaking of the AA, not even friendly to the Wyoming Cowboys this past weekend. They lose to Fresno State. And the announced crowd, 3,200, if there were that many folks there.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. When we're seeing social media accounts basically say, hey, like this post, we'll give you a ticket. It's that bad right now for the Wyoming Cowboys to get out to go to the AA to see a contest where, again, they're basically saying, hey, we'll just give it to free. Just do this simple thing and have at it. So it's dire straits right now. Cowboys, you got another tough one, undefeated, number 4 ranked Aztecs team in San Diego. I say minimum Cowboys lose this one by 25. Minimum. This is going to be a thrashing.
Once in a while, a blind squirrel finds a nut, but it's not going to happen in this situation. Again, the problems are still the same. And then you look back at the loss to Fresno State. You got Maldonado fouling out in this contest. Again, they lose by 15. But what is the main focus of this team? Scoring. 16 points in the first half.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, you know what, gang? It ain't going to get it done.
I think the Cowboys' offensive football could score more than that, at least what we saw. But, yeah, it's kind of
that's kind of a crapshoot.
But either way, though, this is don't anticipate. The fact that this is being nationally televised, the only reason why is because it's number 4 ranked at least San Diego State. I feel bad for those tuning in to watch it. If you are a Cowboys fan, this is going to be an ugly one coming up tonight on the road. But
and again, too, you look at
that time frame for Cowboys to pick up at least one Mountain West Conference victory is dwindling.
Well, and
much faster.
Again, here's the things that
you had. Again, you had the shot against Fresno State, and you let it go.
And here's the broken record: Hunter Thompson, 1 for 6 from beyond the arc, 6'10", 6'11". Hunter Thompson, no rebounds for the Cowboys in that loss.
That proves to me that as cool as it is that he is the Pine Bluff product heading over to the University of Wyoming playing for the Cowboys, it proves to me that, again, classes in at least the lower classes, that basketball style is a lot different than at least moving up to Division I basketball.
Yeah. Well, then you had Hendricks, who shot 11 times, all of them from beyond the arc. He's 4 for 11. He played all 40 minutes in that contest. Maldonado did foul out with a minute left. But the point is, though, he had 7 points. He was 3 of 11.
Yeah.
He's 1 of 4 from beyond the arc, Nick. 2 of 7 inside. Holy Toledo.
Again, you're talking LCCC finding a way to retool or at least find new athletes. Same right now with the Wyoming Cowboys, where that might be a fresh slate, and it's probably going to be a fresh slate again.
Yeah.
The writing is on the wall. Again, we've talked about it plenty of time. We know that the exit, that door is widening open
and
that much
and
more.
the record's just now getting broken. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, you and me and everybody else saying the same thing over and over and over.
It's just pretty much of when
It's
that
just-
athletic department's going to pull the
Well,
trigger.
and we're just waiting for when's the win going to happen?
I don't think
when will it happen?
I really. Again, your shot now is or at least not San Diego State.
San Jose.
San Jose State at San Jose. I don't even see that. I think Cowboys have a legitimate shot of going winless in the Mountain West Conference.
And that's going to pain a lot of folks if that be the case, because I can't remember. And I know in my time here, I don't ever remember a Cowboy team ever going winless in Mo West play. All right, we do need to take, and I'm talking about hoops, we do need to take a timeout. Alan Edwards steps up to the microphone with his press conference after this on 1480 KRAE. Family-owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
Cheyenne Neurological, serving the Cheyenne area for over 20 years, proudly introduces another valuable addition to its staff. Dr. John Suleski, board-certified urologist, comes to us from Michigan, where he's practiced for over 25 years. Joining Doctors Bryant, Everett, and Gieske, Dr. Suleski sees all urological patients, but specializes in dealing with kidney stones, BPH, and other men's issues. For the finest in urinary care, call Cheyenne Neurological at 635-4131. Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 or more on a gas-fired water heater. Or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
What if your bank was more than a bank? What if they gave their resources and the time and talents of their employees to make their community just a little bit better? At Platte Valley Bank, we do just that. Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank, and we are proud to support local events, causes, organizations, and charities that make our area a great place to live. Platte Valley Bank, putting our customers and communities first. Stop in or check us out at pvbank.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 50 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 30 and winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 45, and on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 21.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Just listening to the staff and then talking to our guys about this one. Just felt like we were, taking some steps forward there. End up taking one back tonight against an athletic, aggressive, hard-playing team. And I just thought Fresno executed their game plan better than we did. And what I told our guys, when we look at the scope of the whole game. You know, they scored 65 points, and yet 50 of them came off of our turnovers, second chance points, and then us fouling them at the end and putting them at the free throw line. They got 10 points from that. So our half-court defense is actually solid. It's just that securing the rebound and especially in the first half, taking a step back in the sense of the turnover department. And we dug ourselves a big hole. And we're not the most prolific offensive scoring team, so it's always tough to try to come back from a deficit like that. But I thought our guys came out. I thought T.J. Taylor, I started him in the second half. I thought he came in with some energy to help. But again, I thought Fresno executed their game plan better than ours.
For you guys to go more than 11 minutes without a point there at the end of the first half and the second half, I mean, was that just missing shots? Was that anything they were doing, particularly on defense?
I mean, I thought what they did was they went from man and played a little zone. And to be quite frank, I didn't think we didn't get decent looks. I didn't think we got great looks, but I didn't think we didn't get decent looks. Probably settled a little bit too much for the J-ball. But, you know, given Grimes and Robinson's ability to protect the rim with their shot blocking, probably affected some of that as well. But I mean, even within all of that being said, again, I mean, offensive rebounds, giving them extra opportunities, and then settling a little bit. I get it. Sometimes we do have to shoot the three ball, but you know, they shot 25 free throws and we shot 3. And I get it. We fouled at the end to put them at the line to try to get back into position, but I mean, we've had droughts. So my thing is we still got to be able to defend and rebound the basketball.
From a rebounding perspective, I know we've talked about this some, but is there a fix on this roster to do that? Is that something that has to be go out and fix in recruiting?
Well, I mean, the kid that was brought in for that is out on the year for a concussion.
Yeah.
And then, you know, your second, you know, or more mature guy, even though he's on the side, is sitting over there as well, just from a physicality standpoint. And then I think Big J is coming along. I don't know if he's ready yet, just from watching him in practice. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about those type of things, you know, you talk more about being willing to go hit people. And sometimes you may even get called for it, but at least it sets a tone. And I thought Grimes came in with an absolute beast mentality of getting on the glass, whether it was swim strokes, wedging, or just long arms and athleticism. And it's not a individual job, it's a team job at the end of the day. And you know, we didn't do a great job at that. Now, I thought TJ came in the second half and helped us a little bit. I mean, they end up getting 19 offensive rebounds. We end up getting 12. But again, you know, I thought we dug ourselves a hole in the first half that was a little tough to come back from, even with us not being a high prolific scoring team. But I thought we did a better job in the second half defending and actually doing a few timeouts. When I was looking at the stats, we actually scored it a little better. But again, this is not a team that's going to outscore people. We got to be able to stop them and rebound.
Guys shot 32 threes tonight. Did you feel like those were good shots? Would you like the team to be a little more aggressive? Obviously, you guys only shot 3 free throws. Did you like the aggressiveness and looks you guys were getting?
Well, I thought we were playing catch up, and because we were playing catch up, and some of it them playing zone, and again keeping their rim protectors around the rim, that's just made it tough. I mean, regardless of the fact, of going in there, I think, Grimes and even Robinson, young kid, but I think he's very talented. You're going in there, and sometimes it ain't even a block shot. It's just him being able to vertically go up and challenge it. And even when we, look at our young men outside of maybe A.J. Banks, we're not the most athletic team in the sense of playing over the rim. But, I think we do have a decent skill level to where, maybe get it to the paint and then skip it back out. And again, we didn't make them, Thompson was 1 for 6, had 5 points. So, when we're talking about putting ourselves in position to win basketball games, that's a tough number to look at. I thought Maldo played hard, obviously, but 7 points out of him. He's a guy that we need to score the basketball. But I thought they did a great job switching, and then I thought their bigs were mobile enough to stay in front or, again, make shots tough for our young men.
Whether it be after games or during practice or whatever, I mean, what are you saying to guys at this point? Just try to keep spirits up, confidence up as you guys go through this stretch?
The one thing I never doubt is our confidence. We may not come out and play our best basketball every time out, but our last 2 games, being up 7 with 1:20, you're walking away saying we should have won that game. We missed 4 free throws. That could have been a separator in that game. And even the fact that when Jake went to the line, their coach was even yelling, "Don't foul." So it worked out for them that he did get fouled and did not put him in. And then you go on the road to Nevada and you're up 1, you get a great defensive rebound, and we get a timeout, and we come out and we turn it over and give them in a sense, a pick 6. But I thought the way we played in our last 2 games could have easily went the other way, but it just didn't. But to me, those were steps in a sense of getting better and understanding that sometimes, even in our league, there are teams that are probably just bad matchups for us. And with Robinson and Nate Grimes being mobile, athletic bigs, it's not good for us, especially when, Thompson is out there and they're switching, or, even if you go smaller with T.J. Taylor and Brandon Porter, now you're just pretty much out there playing 5 skilled guys. But I credit Coach and Fresno for doing their job tonight or today.
You mentioned it, Maldo mentioned it, it seemed like a step back tonight. Is this, given where the season is right now and how things have kind of gone, is this a team that can afford step backs? Are you kind of worried about the mindset and how close they were in the last 2 games? And here we go again.
Well, I think sometimes that's just process, to be honest with you. You may not like it, I may not like it, but sometimes that just happens. I thought, again, coming off the 2, there was a good mojo with our guys, even in practice, getting ready for this game. And again, now I gave them what I believe was the formula for what teams, look at when they're getting ready for us. And one of the biggest things is teams are coming in and saying, we got to get on the offensive glass. So again, regardless of that's even the games that we do our job or do a better job, that's still the next opponent's goal is to get on the offensive glass. So it's not something you can do one time and feel like it's fixable or solved already. you have to continue to do it, you know, night in and night out. And then the other one I told him was, you know, teams don't really look to try to take Mulder away. They actually look to try to take Jake Hendricks away in the sense of his ability to shoot the three ball. Everybody in basketball, team-wise, you take steps forward, take step forwards, and you would hope that you don't take steps back. But when you do, you know, you only can adjust, you know, going forward, you know, go back to the drawing board. It's not like you say, we just took a step back, so, you know, let's pout about it. You know, we got to find a way to get back up, dust ourselves off, and go into a tough environment on the road against San Diego State.
Being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. It's being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue. Sweet D in the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, Sundays noon until 8. And, again, delicious pizza prepared by Joe, top 10 of the nation from the Food Network folks. First Year Bank is right across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, offering some fantastic CD rates. Lennox Auto Body, hey, they take care of all the repair work over in Dunn Avenue. They take care of the auto glass and detail work over on Pershing Boulevard. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. And again, what do they sell? On the appliance side, well, GE, Maytag, Frigidaire, Whirlpool, and a plethora of other goodies for you at B&B Appliance and TV. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange directly across from Powers Field and Menards. Again, see Ray and Cindy and the great crew there. Dine in or use the two convenient drive-thrus, open Monday through Saturday. Platte Valley Bank, the original location on Vanda High. The east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne. See my good friend AJ and the entire crew over there. The 2020s are on the lot. Take a test drive. Take home the key of your dreams tonight. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. And we want to thank Taco John's of Cheyenne, where, yes, the Taco Perfecto is in. Or you can load up on tacos as well. There's a theme, always with Taco John's. Over on the South Greeley Highway, downtown KRAE Avenue, north side on Yellowstone, right down the road at Delrange and Ridge, and, of course, Pershing and Ridge, your homes for Taco John's of Cheyenne. And Scoreboard Time is brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Recapping from this weekend with LCCC men's and women's basketball, we'll start on the women's side of things, where Thursday's contest at Central Wyoming up there in Riverton, where LCCC got the victory 67-52. For Saturday's contest at Sheridan, taking on the Lady Generals, where for LCCC, that was a loss, unfortunately, at 67-59. With that split, 1-1 for LCCC on the women's side. The Lady Golden Eagles find themselves at 14-6 overall. LCCC men's action from this past weekend, Thursday at Central Wyoming, where it was a losing effort for the Golden Eagles by a final of 80-69. Same, or at least similar result on Saturday at Sheridan College, taking on the Generals, where LCCC falls in that one 96-74. So going 0-2 this past weekend, LCCC, the men's squad, they will fall to 3-15 overall. We will have LCCC men's and women's action coming up tomorrow here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming those games. Hopefully, we had to upload it last year due to the lack of internet there at Rock Springs, so hopefully we'll be able to live stream. But again, Periscope via Twitter and the 1480KRAE YouTube channel. Again, 5:30 and 7:30, women up first, men up second. 5:10-ish pregame show here on 1480 KRAE. NHL action for tonight. Boston Bruins at home at TD Garden will host the Vegas Golden Knights. Battle of the New York teams in Madison Square Garden, where the Rangers will host this one against the New York Islanders. Winnipeg Jets will travel to Carolina to see the Hurricanes at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Flyers will battle against the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Battle of Pennsylvania. And last but not least, at the United Center, the Chicago Blackhawks at home. They will host the Florida Panthers. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
Only one game on the NBA slate. It will be the Dallas Mavericks tonight at American Airlines Center in Big D. They will play host to the Los Angeles Clippers. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate. And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi.
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
amazing.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
Holy cow, what is Bury Jewelers up to now? It's Super Bowl sale time at your favorite jeweler.
Bury's entire inventory reduced 50 to 75%. Doors open at 11 a.m. Super Bowl Sunday, and you have 5 hours to liquidate the store. Every ring, necklace, and watch. Everything must go. Discounts are so deep, Bury's is practically giving away the best jewelry for next to nothing. Bury Jewelers, 2206 Delrange.
Bury Jewelers' famous Super Bowl sale, 11 to 4 Super Bowl Sunday. Be there, be there.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 50 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 30 and winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 45, and on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 21.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. We've got a very special guest in studio, and we're glad we get a chance to hook up with him. First day officially on campus for one Nate Ulness, who is now the new soccer coach at Laramie County Community College as he replaces, and I'll throw the compliment out to replacing a legend, Jim Gardner. And again, Nate, You're familiar with Jim's work, obviously, coming from Gillette, and again, coaching the Lady Pronghorns up there at Gillette Community College. But real quick, first off, welcome to Cheyenne, and looking forward to seeing what you can do for us on the field.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me here today, guys. I'm very excited to be down in Cheyenne. It's been great here, getting to know everybody in the community, transitioning with LCCC and getting going, and like you said, yeah, the living legend Jim Gardner, and kind of taking over and going with the program and the dynasty that he's built.
No bad looks by any LCCC fans. Again, this is the Gillette squad that did beat LCCC. Their lone loss in the Region 9 championship. No bad looks, no off-color comments towards you so far?
I mean, the interview process was a little awkward with some of the players, but we got over that pretty quick. There was probably a little bit more in Gillette, a little bit more of the sour taste, but that's kind of part of the business and is what it is. But, love the program up there, love the people in Gillette. Definitely going to miss that part. But it's great to start anew down here, too.
You had a Lady Pronghorns program that you had taken to the top level. But I guess, again, here we are in Region 9 North, or Region 9 altogether. What made you come down to Laramie County Community College?
Just the professional standpoint and where it is. Being able to network and things like that, it was an offer that I couldn't necessarily resist on a professional standpoint. I built a lot of memories in Gillette. They trusted me to get a program started in 3 quick, short years. We took it to that level, and I'll always remember that and the lessons I've learned up there and things I've learned from other people and the other coaches and the players and what they've given to the program. I hope that continues up there. I really do. I'll always have a deep passion for Gillette College and that, but as I transition into the Golden Eagle athletics now, I'm excited to get going and continue the tradition and history that is Golden Eagle athletics.
And looking at your past, at least, Coach, looking at least with Gillette College, 3 seasons up there, it took at least to the Lady Pronghorns their first ever NJCAA at least national tournament appearance after winning that at least Region 9 championship over LCCC, 31-17-3 overall as a head coach up there at Gillette College. But prior to getting over there to at least be the head coach for the Lady Pronghorns, talk about kind of previous experience, or at least look into your past of soccer, of what led you into that head coaching position.
Yeah, so just kind of a full circle. So it kind of started when I was playing club soccer as a youth player for Levi Evans. He's a soccer legend out of Gillette. He's up in Butte, Montana now. He used to be the University of Mary women's soccer head coach, and he was kind of like an older brother to me, and just I loved how he taught the game and how he coached us. And what I always told him as I was transitioning into a coaching role is make sure you hold your spot at UMary for me. I want to take over for you at some point. I was still a player when he departed and left and all that, but it really got me going and excited about coaching. So I jumped in at club levels in high school coaching when I was 19. I played my 4 years at the University of Mary on the men's side, obviously, and then I jumped straight into college coaching on the women's side there with Sarah Cook, and started helping her for 5 years as a graduate assistant, volunteer assistant. And I also took over the Century High School boys and girls program and coached 5 years there on the boys and girls side. So it's boys fall, girls spring. So I was able to do both, which was nice, and won 2 state championships apiece on the boys and girls side. So it's just kind of something I've grown up with. It's been a lot of fun, and to transition from do all the roles from JV2 to JV1 head coach to varsity head coach to college assistant to college head coach. It's been really fun to wear all the different hats and just see the different outlooks on everything, and it's good to be the head coach.
Jim Gardner on our program last year announced that, hey, one more season, I'm retiring. He's stepping away. And again, great for Jim because him and his wife, they deserve, some free time together. Again, you come in and the old story, you got big shoes to fill, blah, blah, blah. But it's Nate Ulness's program. Tell me a little bit the pressures that you feel or you don't feel as you take over this program.
The pressures are good. I like having that pressure and the expectations of you need to win games, you need to go to national tournaments and do all that. I think that's fun. If you're not competing for those things, why be a part of it? Is my look at that. So Jim's been great in the transition. He's been very, very helpful. He's been very supportive. Like he says, he's my biggest fan. I'd argue and say my girlfriend is my biggest fan, but Jim's right up there in that sense too. So it's been really good, and he's been very helpful in this transition phase, and I'm excited that he's still going to be that fan of Golden Eagle soccer and really not necessarily go away. His involvement in the program will take kind of a different look, and he gets to be the fan now, and I think he's really excited about that and being with his grandkids more and all that stuff too.
Looking at least kind of your philosophy, Nate, that you're bringing to LCCC, where we transitioned from the Jim Gardner era with LCCC of what he did and what he brought to the table here in Cheyenne. Again, the first ever head coach for LCCC women's soccer. Again, now you being the second overall head coach now with LCCC. But, talk about philosophies for yourself, whether it is recruiting, whether it is play style. What do we expect upcoming here in 2020 with now your Lady Golden Eagles?
I would expect to see a lot of what we kind of did in Gillette too. We're going to keep the ball. We're going to move the ball. We're going to be a defensive-minded team first, because if they can't score on us, they can't beat us unless it's playoff time when we go to a shootout. So I always like to take that defensive first mentality of making sure we keep them in front of us, slow it down, win it as a team, and then from there, let's build, let's get big, let's counterattack. If we can't punch them in the mouth quick with the ball, let's keep it, let's move, and let's find that goal and score. So for us, it's finding the right players that fit that model and that system. A lot of the players we have down here, the freshmen coming back, I think they're going to be a great fit for that model and that system. They're great athletes. They're great soccer players. They're ready to learn. And then we've already hit the recruiting path hard. We've got a transfer in already. Grace Rozwadowski, a Gillette native. She was up at the University of North Dakota this past fall. So bringing in a Division I talent is always a great thing to do for the spring season. And we got some other kids on the line that are coming in as well too. So I think we're going to be right there again. We're going to build to be, again, another top team in the region and push to be a top team in the nation as well too, because that's, at the end of the day, that's the goal of Golden Eagle women's soccer.
Well, we were talking with you off air, again, just talking more background and just getting to know you, Nate. And, again, we're 3 years up there in Gillette. You're kind of from this Rocky Mountain region, or at least kind of up north, so to speak. But you are still familiar with the high school ranks, as we talked about with state, at least championships, and also, too, again, who were the contenders for the past couple seasons out here in the state of Wyoming, whether it is Class 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, whatever it may be. But, again, talk to the folks that at least you are familiar with that as well, too, the talent that is not only here in the city of Cheyenne, but also, too, throughout the state of Wyoming that's available to come to LCCC.
Yeah, I definitely think Wyoming is it's an overlooked state in just about every sport, especially girls and boys soccer. There's a lot of diamonds out there that a lot of coaches just aren't willing to do the work to go find. The nice thing is I love refereeing. I love getting to do that in the spring. It's a good chance for me to get around the state and see all these teams and compete. And the nice part is I can see how these players act on the field too and how they treat the officials, because that's a big part of our program as well. And getting to know these coaches, these programs, and what they've built, and finding the right ones that fit the philosophies that we have too. So I like trying to recruit the best players in the state of Wyoming. We always want to keep them in Wyoming if we can. If they decide to go somewhere else, at least we can say, hey, at least we tried recruiting that kid. For me, that's a very important thing, that you always try and look for your best local homegrown talent first, and then from there, regionally based, we'll reach out. We're going to look heavily into the Rocky Mountain regions, into the Colorado. Utah's been a really good state for me. We've been getting into Montana, getting back up into my roots in North Dakota. We can find those kids too. So finding the right kids that'll come in and help take our program even further.
We're talking with Nate Ulness, who's the new head coach at Laramie County Community College. Nate, you knew, and it was announced last year, this would be the last season for Jim Gardner being the head coach at LCCC. When did you actually decide to make a run for this position?
When it initially opened, Jim had been talking with me for a while, and this stems all the way back to state soccer last spring of, you should really look at applying for this. I think you'd be a good fit. And like I said, Jim's been a very big advocate for me. He's been a great supporter of what we've been doing in Gillette and what I've been doing as a coach, as well as our assistant coaches in the program too. So it's kind of been a year full process of where it's been going with this. So obviously filled out the application, got the phone interview. Didn't realize it was a video interview, so I looked a bit like a scrub on it. So I dressed a little better for the on-campus one, and that was a fun event, getting to meet everybody, talk with the players, meet the players, train the players, and just get to know their personalities and ultimately see, because it's got to be a fit of the players with the coach too. And I thought we hit it off well with the players and what they were looking for in a coach and expectations and coaching styles, and even away from the game too, because that is a big part of college athletics is, for us, we're in season for 3 to 4 months a year. Then after that, we get our off-season time, but they're students as well, and they want to know that they can engage with the coach away from the game too, and we had that connection as well. So it's been good. It's been a really good transition down here. That's for sure.
So let me finish up on that real quick here, Nick. With recruiting going all year round, and again, you're still recruiting. You're still the head coach, the Lady Pronghorn. So obviously you were on some kids up there before you got the job at LCCC. You also have some returning kids, so you didn't leave the cupboard bare. But let's put it this way, did you leave those kids to the Pronghorns, or did you say, hey, I've got another situation, come down with me?
It was one of those, I didn't want to fully take away from a program up there, because I do want to see it succeed. Obviously, we called all of our returning players. I let them know, and then for the players that we were talking to and incoming, it was, hey, I took a new job. The offers and all that are still on the table up at Gillette. If this is something down here you want to look at, we can talk, but you got to reach out to me. Obviously, I recruited you there first. I want you to take that option. If this is something you would like to pursue down here, we can look at that as well. So I didn't want to necessarily take a program and leave it high and dry, because to me that's an integrity thing, and I don't want to do that to a program. So making sure that they still had players up there, could go through a spring season, they could go through their fall season, they had some players coming in, and they had a base to go around too. So some kids decided to stay, some kids have decided to look down here, and some players have made their decisions. We're on new players down here as well too. So it's kind of a mixture of all.
As we talk about, or at least you allude to the offseason, Nate, again, you just freshly moved down here, so again, give you some time to at least kind of get situated out here in the Cap City. But what does the offseason look like here in the month of January, moving into the month of February? I mean, is it tackling practices with who is on campus currently for LCCC? Is it pretty much just introductory, trying to get people to at least go out in the community and introduce yourself? I mean, what are kind of the big things that you're going to address right now in these upcoming months right now?
Well, there's going to be a lot of things for me. It's going to be a busy spring for sure. So for the girl, I'll touch on the college girls first. We can't really do anything until February 1st is when we can officially start our spring season and get 8 hours a week. So we're going to start that day. We've got quite a few recruits coming in, a couple local Cheyenne players, one from East, one from Central. I can't say their names, though. We've got a committed player from Utah that's coming to take a tour, and then also another incoming, maybe two, possibly more from Utah coming to take a visit as well. So that'll be a big recruiting weekend and kind of get our kickstart. We'll have a few meetings this week and next just to kind of go through some expectations and things with the girls, help them transition, get to know me a little bit more, set some goals and things for the spring. For myself, obviously getting out in the community is a big thing, representing not just myself, but our program and our college. So I think getting involved with Sting will be a big thing for me, maybe not necessarily taking over a team, but getting involved with multiple teams and helping out at practices. So helping with Vince, Jose, Brian Longbottom, David Eldridge, all those guys that are big in the community and soccer-wise, and just getting to know them and really branding our program and getting people excited about it too, even with the transition of coaches. Finding some boosters and donors for our program is a big thing too, and setting up some fundraising things. We had a fun one up in Gillette. We did a cash raffle, so hopefully starting that one. And one thing that I'd like to kind of do for our program, and it's not necessarily done yet, is like a golf tournament or something like that too, and that's a big money maker. They're always a fun event too. I absolutely loved our one up in Gillette. That was always a fun one with a lot of the big boosters, so something we'd look at with that. So kind of putting my touch on things as we get going, but the big thing for me will be meeting people and getting going with the girls and getting them into our system, philosophy, and style of play and going from there.
Now, Nate Ulness can't do it all by himself. Obviously, you need to get a coaching staff. Do you bring down your staff from Gillette? Do you look at current members of the Jim Gardner staff, or do you have folks in mind?
I can't bring any of my Gillette staff, so my assistant Carl Matson, he's actually a teacher up there. He's rooted for life. His wife's from there. In-laws are there. I'm hoping that they make him the head coach of the program up there. I think it'd be a great move. Carl is more than capable of it. He has really learned a lot and done a lot at the college ranks. He was a well-known high school coach in the state, did very well with the Camels. He would be a phenomenal college coach. The girls absolutely loved him up there. I loved working with him. We're almost one and the same demeanor-wise. We have a lot of fun, both during the game and away from the game too. So, and my other assistants, they're rooted in Gillette too, and all that. So we're currently talking with the current members of Jim's staff and just kind of figuring out where things fit. And then I also have a coaching colleague of mine that is interested in coming out this way too. He played professionally for Barnsley over in England. He was an All-American goalkeeper at Tyler Junior College and at University of Mary. Played professionally in Australia, so he's got the pedigree. He's got a lot of connections. He's from England, so I think he'd be a great addition to the staff as well if we can get to it.
Well, Nate, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best, and don't be a stranger. Come on here and chat with us anytime you like.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Nate Ulness, the new head soccer coach for the Lady Golden Eagles. Join us here on 1480 KRAE. We're going to take a time out. We'll be back with more after this. Matter of fact, we will come back with the Kyle Shanahan press conference. Yes, Super Bowl 54 coming up not this Sunday, next Sunday. This might not be your New Year's resolution, but it should be. Never drink and drive. Ever. Be smart and stay safe. Getting behind the wheel after even one drink is a recipe for disaster. Be the envy of your friends and stick to your resolution. You'll be glad you did, and you'll be here to talk about it. Don't drink and drive. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
We hold ourselves up to the highest standards, and Kia also holds their cars up to the highest standards. A.J. Miller for Kia of Cheyenne. Start the year off right and get the best value with the new 2020 Kia Soul. The 2020 Kia Soul comes with a completely redesigned exterior and interior, all new high-tech features, and an available turbocharged engine. It's hard to find this kind of value anywhere else. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner. B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for well over 50-plus years. Not only do we offer several major brands, but we service what we sell. We also have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts in the service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on the show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, KRAE.
Any kind of thought on what the likelihood would be that?
I mean, we got to wait till we get the stuff back, so I don't want to speculate too much, but I mean, usually a week to rest it, and usually gets back in, and I expect him to have a chance to play. Can't hold me to that. We'll find out more after the imaging, but expect him to have a good chance to play.
And as I recall, didn't Mosley have it last year, dislocated shoulder?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he might have tore something, mostly, because he needed surgery. This was more like lethal weapon type thing, where you got to pop it back in.
That was it. He was
yeah.
Are you concerned with Tart, or do you think that he'll be back soon?
I mean, I think I know he just irritated the same area, but no new damage. So I mean, he'll deal with some pain, I'm sure, this week. But it's nice that the game's 2 weeks away.
You said yesterday that you're going to try to approach this like a regular week. Is that the plan here? Like Tuesday off and Wednesday, Thursday?
Yeah, totally regular week. We'll probably take Saturday off, and I think we head out there Sunday. But today we had a normal Monday, just reviewing the game from yesterday. When we're done here, they're going to meet with all our players and coaches and go over ticket situations and stuff like that so they can get that situated. Tomorrow will be the players' day off. We'll do our game plan and have a normal Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and get there next week and repeat it.
You had some fun this week with Art Spander joking about the backpack incident from the Super Bowl. Can you just take us through those few minutes when that backpack was lost to you?
I had almost a panic attack. All you guys were huddled around me and distracted me, setting me up while he could take it. It was right between my legs. I was sitting on the top part of a chair, and it was between my legs. Then when I was done talking to everybody, it wasn't there anymore. And there was a backpack there, but it wasn't mine. So he took mine and left his. But I was panicked, not because of the game plan or everything in it. That's on an iPad, and you need codes to get in it and stuff, and we have others, so that's not a big deal. But I had about 48 Super Bowl tickets in there that I had bought for family members and everything, and I was carrying a lot of money from that, a lot of IOUs and stuff, so I was very panicked about the tickets and the cash.
Get resolved?
I was gone for about an hour and a half. The whole team left me. The Patriots came in. I was walking around there looking for my backpack frantically, running into more media people and still having to do interviews past my deal. And I was trying not to come off as a jerk, blowing them off, but I was panicked trying to find my backpack. So it was awkward, but Art ended up coming back with it. I think we found it because the backpack remaining, I eventually opened it and saw his name in there. And so people tracked him down, and he had it, and they tried to take it off of him, and he wouldn't give it to me at first until I showed him it was mine.
Have you forgiven him?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I forgave him fast, but I was stressed for a while.
also in that Super Bowl. In the game, obviously the 28-3 lead, and you didn't win. How much have you gone back over that in your head? How much has that lingered for you about whether it's a teaching moment, whether it's a learn? How much do you think about that?
Not much at all anymore, to tell you the truth. I mean, you do it every second. I mean, the days after were real tough. But I mean, I don't think it. I didn't. I mean, losing a Super Bowl is extremely tough for everybody, especially when you lose when you have a 28-3 lead going into the fourth. But the way it came down on me personally, I didn't react to that, I think, the way people would expect, because, there's definitely parts in that Super Bowl that I would love to have back and stuff I was very hard on myself. But, the whole narrative of if I just would have ran it, we would have won. I know that wasn't the case. I know it went into that game and all the stuff that happened. So that stuff didn't bother me. I mean, you got to deal with that and listen to other people. But it was nice to be able to move on and move out here and just keep working. And I'm glad to get the chance to go back.
You said that one play, maybe the 2nd and 11, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the play I regretted the most was when we got down there. We haven't converted a third down really the entire second half. I think we were averaging 1 yard a carry rushing. And so when you do that, the formula to keep giving the ball back to someone is to go run, pass, because you're going to make it 3rd and 7 at the best every single time. And if you're not converting any third downs, that makes it tough. So we did mix it up a little bit. I think we actually ran it more in the second half than we did in the first half. But the other team I think he was like 34 of 38, converted all of their third downs, couldn't get the ball. And finally they got it in within a score. We got it back and got pretty aggressive to get it down there. And it was a 2nd and 10. Called a pass on. The last time down there on 2nd and 10, I called a run on, got a 2-yard loss and a holding call that put us out of field goal range. This time I went the opposite, tried to get a play to Julio. They played a different coverage. Didn't get the call I wanted, so I didn't like the call. I was hoping we could just get rid of it, but they had a pretty good rush, got a sack, and once that happened, I knew we had to throw because now we were out of field goal range. Threw it the next down to Sanu, ran a choice route breaking out. Moved the chains, but they called a holding call on our left tackle. So that put us way back, and you had to throw again to get back into it, and we missed it. But I wish I didn't call that play on 2nd and 11 that led to that sack.
Do you think you've evolved or improved as a play caller since then?
I don't know. I think each is huge. I mean, I thought I did a pretty good job that year. I mean, we had a historical offense in Atlanta and did a lot of good things. But I mean, a play caller, you're as good as your last game. So you go after all that stuff, you learn stuff from everything. But people act like there was a bunch of big learning moments in that game, and I wish I didn't call that pass on 2nd and 10. But the learning moments are never feel good. I mean, that's why I promise you, when we're way up in the fourth quarter on Green Bay and stuff, I mean, I know what 28 minus 3 is, and I know 25-point lead in the fourth quarter isn't enough. So when we only have a 14-point lead with 8 minutes to go versus Green Bay, I can promise you that I think I feel from experience like the game is tied and that we don't have a 2-score lead. And I think that's the stuff that helps you, because sometimes I think people can tend to relax, and that's something I won't say that I ever relaxed in that Super Bowl, especially with Tom Brady having that ball. But that's something that keeps you humble at every single moment until the game's over.
That week I asked you about the possibility of being the first father and son coaching on the Super Bowl. You told me if you beat the Packers, you will answer this question. So here we are.
All right. It feels pretty cool. I mean, probably like you'd expect. That surprises me, but that is pretty neat. Now, hopefully, the goal will be hopefully to win one.
What did you do last night to celebrate? Were you watching any of the highlights in the background, or have you broken down the film yet?
Yeah, broke down the film. We did that all today and just finished with the players. But no, I just had a bunch of family over last night, a bunch of friends from high school and college, and my whole family, my wife's whole family, and it was pretty cool. Got home a little bit later, took a while to get out of here, and took a while to calm down, though, from the excitement of the night. But it was nice to just be able to hang out in the house and reminisce on a bunch of things. Usually most people just making fun of me most of the time, and me making fun of people back, but it was a good time.
You've touched it multiple times on the various ties you have to this organization. I'm sure you'd be happy to lead any team to a Super Bowl. Does it mean more that it's this particular organization for you?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think it's, if you would have told me this when I was in middle school, I would have said that's a dream come true. So, you get into the NFL and you stop thinking about that stuff because there's 32 teams and you're doing whatever you can just to get that opportunity and stuff. And just the way it worked out and the way everything lined up, it is pretty special to sit and think about.
You have a lot of your key players are younger guys, maybe with the exception of Sherman. But what can this whole experience over these next 2 weeks do for you guys in terms of trying to build something sustainable?
I mean, it's very important to go through all this stuff. I mean, it's you don't really know what it's like till you go through it. Our players got experience now of the playoffs. They're going to get experience here at the Super Bowl, and you know, people will tell you all about it, but you got to go through it. I'm very thankful that you got 2 weeks to do it. I do think it's crazy when you get down there for the week, and that's what was nice for, you know, just growing up, watching my dad go through it a lot, and then being able to go through it myself with the Falcons. Just seeing it firsthand how important it is really to take advantage of this first week, how much pressure is on all these guys to, you know, everyone wants to take care of everybody, but everyone's got so many family members and so many people that they want to get tickets for, they want to help people out. But people don't realize that not everyone gets that many tickets, and you're going to have to say no to some people, and it's going to be tough. But you got to focus on the people real tight to you, help whoever you can. But once you're done and you make the decisions you can, you have to move on, and you got to focus on the task at hand, because once you get down there, it's hectic, and everyone wants to be taken care of and stuff. But we got a job to do, and that's what we're going to do. We're going in there to play in the Super Bowl, and which is a very important football game. And for us, we can't get caught up in an event. It's just the game.
For you, the staff, do you approach this like you're playing this coming Sunday and try to do all your work before you get to Miami?
Yes. Yeah, we try to do everything before. I mean, we definitely know that we have the whole week when we get there. But there's different media obligations that get you out of your routine and everything, and you don't want to play catch up at the end of a Super Bowl week. You want to do that now. That was cool, you know, Dan Quinn being at Seattle, him going through it, that was something he stressed us hard. You know, after we won the NFC Championship, you know, would love to take a couple days to relax and stuff and then get at it, knowing you have 2 weeks away. But Dan put us on it right away, and man, was I thankful when we got there, because you have the time to work when you get out there and stuff, but there are a little bit more distractions and stuff, and I hope the players aren't trying to learn anything and having to study as much. You hope you get all that done this week, and next week we're just going through the motions again and just locking it all up.
When you got there last time, did you do some tinkering, or was the
Oh no, you do a lot of tinkering, and you get watch a lot of stuff, and it all depends on what you're going against. But it's also nice to get a trial run of the whole week too, and you kind of get down there the next week and you review it again on that Monday and Tuesday, and you go back through your weekly practice. And hey, I know we liked this last week and we worked on it, but it just doesn't seem to look like what I thought. Let's take it out and put this instead. So there'll be stuff like that, but the main thing is not wasting this week.
Two more, please. What's the key to having receivers who are so willing to block? Is it finding the right guys, or is it something to do with messaging to them, or you have to be effective doing it to prove it to them?
No, I think it's just holding people accountable from the beginning. And then, you just set a standard as it is, and every time you watch tape, you point it out. Some people don't point it out very much and don't think you can get that out of wideouts, but that's what we do from the first play that we're with someone to the last play. You never don't grade a receiver for blocking. They're as big of a part of it as anyone on the field. And the more you point that out, I think the more they enjoy it. I think guys don't always get that pointed out all the time, and once they realize how big of a deal that it is for them, I think guys take pride in it. And you can be a real physical guy, or you don't always have to be the most physical guy, just to know how to do your job and how to be square on people and get to the right guy. And I think those guys learn the more that they do that, the more big plays that they can get in the passing game.
What do you mean to have your dad here?
Packers, they seem to be selling out to stop Kittle and some other things, and you were able to run. The Cardinals did kind of the exact opposite, and Garoppolo tore them up. Everyone's, like you mentioned, 2016 Falcons were historically good. I guess what I'm asking is, if you had an ability to counter whatever a defense does as well as you have with this offense, it's like, you're going to stop this, we're going to do this, or is it on par with those Falcons?
Yeah, it's been a little bit different. I think our offense plays a little bit more to our defense here. We have our defense has had a historically good year. So I think we've been able to win the game a lot of different ways on offense, but when the defense, the way it's played with us, the way it's played most of this year, we didn't have to go out and air it out a ton, no one going into games like that. So we've tried to do it some old-fashioned ways at times. Our guys have gotten better at that as it's gone, and our defense has allowed us to do that no matter what. And it wasn't always that case with the other team you asked about.
All right, guys, we got to go.
One more. What's that?
You spoke a lot about being hard on yourself, your accountability. Your players are exactly the same. Is that unique to the mindset of this locker room?
Yeah, I think, you got to defuse guys. Everyone's sensitive and everyone's trying to do their best. But also everyone makes mistakes. So I don't care who you are. Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Hall of Fame coaches, it doesn't matter. No one has gone perfect in this league, and everyone's going to make huge mistakes in front of a lot of people. And that's what sports is about. That's what I think athletes go through, that, everyone, the athletes got a great life. They work hard, they get paid very well, and they get to play in a cool game. But they also are going to get judged by everybody in what they do, and that's just part of it. And you got to be able, you got to have thick skin. You got to mind not being judged, because you're out here, you're good at what you do, and you're going to have times that are bad. The more you can call yourself out, the more you can call each other out, the more people kind of take their sensitivity away and know, all right, he's right. We all mess up sometimes. Let's just sit in here and work on getting better.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Sell or trade your gold, silver, or other precious metals, you will be met with honesty, fairness, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. The Coin Shop has been serving Cheyenne since 1982 and is a respected member of our community. Call David today at 778-7196 to meet privately or visit during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. The Coin Shop, a dealer you can trust, 510 West 16th Street.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Holy cow, what is Burry Jewelers up to now? It's Super Bowl sale time at your favorite jeweler.
Burry's entire inventory reduced 50 to 75%. Doors open at 11 a.m. Super Bowl Sunday, and you have 5 hours to liquidate the store. Every ring, necklace, and watch. Everything must go. Discounts are so deep, Burry's is practically giving away the best jewelry for next to nothing. Burry Jewelers, 2206 Del Range.
Burry Jewelers' famous Super Bowl sale, 11 to 4 Super Bowl Sunday.
Be there. Be there. We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 50 and winds out the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 30 and winds out the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Wednesday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 45, and on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 21.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We'll get back to Kansas City and San Francisco in just a moment. The results are in. Derek Jeter and Larry Walker will be installed as the newest members into the Hall of Fame. Larry Walker, the second Canadian-born member of the Hall. The first was Ferguson Jenkins.
The Hall of Fame, that is, in my opinion, starting to become just ridiculous at this point.
Well, and again, and we'll go more into detail. Kurt Schilling just missed out. Still having 3 World Series rings doesn't mean diddly. He had
There's more probably off-field stuff.
Yeah, I think he's getting punished for that.
Yeah.
He had 70%. He was a near miss. Also, not getting in. Roger Clemens, 61% of the vote. You need 75%, and Barry Bonds fell short. He had 60.7% of the vote. Looking ahead towards the class of 2021, or
it is
this year's
2020,
class?
yeah.
Yeah, Mark Burley. No. Tim Hudson, we would know from the Giants, the Braves, the A's.
Maybe.
No, not even. And outfielder Torrey Hunter, good career with Minnesota.
Maybe.
Now. None of these are slam dunkers into next year's Hall. All right,
again,
so,
the Hall of Fame, that is, again, in my opinion, it's becoming more of a joke every year.
Let's leave it at that. We'll talk more about it on Thursday. Let's go back to Kansas City and San Francisco. This was brought up during the broadcast, and they never answered it, even though I did. They said during the broadcast that Kyle Shanahan was the 6th 49er coach in their history. Now think about it. They joined the AFC, I do believe, AAFC, the All-American Football Conference back in 1946, merged with the NFL in 1949. So from 1949 through 2020, only 6 49er coaches have ever had their teams in the NFC Championship game or in the championship round. Can you name?
Walsh, you would have Seifert, Shanahan, you would have Harbaugh.
You're going good.
Mariucci.
There you are, 5.
And then the 6th one, probably well before my time, but
was Dick Nolan. That's
okay.
my time.
Yeah.
That's the first time they went to the NFC Championship. Mike Nolan's dad, Dick Nolan, who also coached with the New Orleans Saints. So, yeah.
All I want to say is at this point in time, yes, we will see Kansas City versus San Francisco. Kansas City, first time at least Super Bowl appearance in 50 years since winning against the Vikings.
Super Bowl 1 and 4 that they were in.
Yeah, but they won it in 4 against the Vikings. That's the first time that they've been in a Super Bowl. 49ers, it's been a couple seasons removed since their first loss in a Super Bowl, that coming to the hands of at least, again, Brother Harbaugh and his Baltimore Ravens. Again, the infamous, at least, blackout game there at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. But, again, a interesting matchup, a team, or at least 2 teams that have once at least said that they had Joe Montana as their QB. But, you know, going to the 49ers, obviously that we are fans of this team.
Joe won more rings with the Niners, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was still part of that Kansas City team that he eventually moved on to. But either way, though, again, regarding this 49ers team, I'll have a little bit of gloating moment here where early in the season I said that this team has enough to make it to this point in time. Well, they proved it.
Yeah, they did.
And again, you saw these stints last year of what they did at the tail end with the team that was basically plagued by injuries. Still fought hard, still had a lot of talent. And again, you were led by last year's leading tight end, George Kittle. Again, he continued that momentum in this season. He helped the 49ers massively. Again, you had a full-on healthy Jimmy G. We now know that Jimmy G is for real. I think without a doubt that Jimmy G has proved that he is for real. You see it again. They even address that stat with his starts as a quarterback for the 49ers. Pretty phenomenal.
Hey, he doesn't even have to throw the football to win, right?
Well, yeah, we saw that. Basically, Brent Vegan's, at least offensive style, was on showcase, but it actually worked. It worked pretty well against Green Bay, even though we saw it kind of hurt there in the second half after being a little bit conservative, where Green Bay basically said, all right, we can be quick strike offense. Here's a couple of deep passes, and here we are down by 14, 10 points and getting at least close within that contest. But was I ever worried at a point in time in that game? Not really.
I got a little nervous in the second half when they went really conservative. They kept it on the ground. They didn't throw. And you knew Aaron Rodgers was not going to get shut down.
Is this the 49ers offense that we're going to see in the Super Bowl against Kansas City? No.
Well, according to a lot of experts, that's what they're assuming. Again, here's my...
What I go off of what we just heard from Kyle Shanahan is,
right,
again, of what he's been talking about. The plays that he wanted to use, he hasn't used in the past couple games.
Didn't have to. Here's the early line. The early line, and this is probably to generate some monies in Vegas. Kansas City's favored by 1.
All right.
The matchup predictor right now has Kansas City winning this thing 65-35.
All right.
And again, you know me, I'm not going to
Kansas City that struggled early on looks like they have a lot of flaws.
Let me say this about now, and if they go by last year's win over the 49ers, well, yeah, sure, because that's when they knocked out Jimmy G.
Yeah, that's when they took him out.
All right, but here's what's going to happen. If Kansas City, and again, I'm just looking ahead here in the Pro Shop crystal ball, if Kansas City allows the 49ers to dictate, much like Houston did and much like Tennessee did, Kansas City won't come back on them. That's the difference.
Yeah.
San Francisco's better defensively.
Well, you have the number one defense going against the number one offense, that being Kansas City's offense. Number one defense goes.
But if they come out of the block
49ers.
slow like they did against those two teams, Kansas City's going to have a little bit of battle. Because the
49ers could still strike.
And the 49ers could score just like Kansas City. They can score quickly, or they can march it down the field.
And you know that this team is very multi-dimensional, whether it is, George Kittle as your tight end, where he can, again, whether catch, block for you. Again, with Mostert, where we saw what he did, phenomenal, at least his running skills against the Green Bay Packers. And again, you still have Emmanuel Sanders. You have Deebo Samuels as your wide receiver core that you can easily toss to as well. They got some big catches, or at least when Jimmy G did throw, they picked up some big gains.
And again, too, let's look at it. Let's throw in the Kelsey Kittle matchup. That's a wash. Throw Mahomes and Jimmy G in, kind of a wash. Mahomes is a better runner, but running, you got to give it to the Niners. Mostert over Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, the 49ers are a better rushing team. So
I give the advantage, though. Again, you talk about a wash with Kelsey compared to at least Kittle. Kittle's better tight end. I think he's proved that he is.
I'm not going to take anything away from Kelsey.
He's talented.
He's
but
a very
again,
good tight end.
I'm more happier that Kittle's a part of my team.
No, I am too. Garoppolo knows to go to Kittle, go to. Mahomes goes to Kelsey, go to all the time.
Well, and you talk about this NFC Championship where they alluded to at least where, there was the big target, the main target for Aaron Rodgers, where now for Kansas City's defense, you got multiple targets to kind of keep an eye out. Not so much Jimmy G, but again, Mostert, that he has the wheels, that he can certainly gain some big, at least yards on the ground. Again, Kittle's a big target. Emmanuel Sanders, can break away for a few yards. Also, too, same with Deebo Samuel. So you got many targets out there for that 49ers offense at Kansas City. You can't spotlight one and put your talented players over on that side. No, you got to mix and match. You got to be ready for this offense of whatever they plan to do. Again, a team that, in this day and age where we're kind of more pass-happy, throw-happy in the NFL, 49ers kind of flipped the script and said, we're just going to run on the ground, and they did it above and beyond.
And it's interesting.
They took care of business where they made Green Bay look like foolish out there.
Well, and again, the 49ers threw very well this season.
Green Bay did not look like a second seed.
What did they look like?
They look like a team that probably didn't even deserve to be in the playoffs.
Well, at first half, they didn't deserve like they wanted to be in the playoffs. But again, in the second half, they came out with a little bit of a mission. Like I said, it made me nervous a little bit there in the second half. I don't like when we get conservative. The only coach I know of in my era of watching football, the only coach I know that can get conservative and get away with it was Bill Walsh's 49ers. Mm-hmm. They could get away with running the ball, third down, throwing it.
Yeah.
They could become predictable, but they could also run the clock out. But, you look at the 49ers and the Kansas City matchup right now. I know we're running short on time. Points per game. Niners score about 30, Kansas City 28. Points allowed, 15 for the Niners, and Kansas City about almost 28 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
We look at yards. The Niners go about 396 yards. Kansas City 391, almost a wash. Passing, Kansas City has that advantage, 293 to 252.
Well, again, yeah, you're going to use that arm of Mahomes.
Rushing, 144 for the Niners, 98 for Kansas City. So, again, establish the ground. Well, let's see how things go.
Well, you know that your line can open up big holes, and I think they could take care of business against Kansas City. Kansas City defense is not that.
And no, they give up 402 yards a game, Nick, so you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
They give up about 312 yards passing. Do you think Kyle Shanahan is keeping that in mind right now?
I would hope so.
They're a little tough against the rush. They give up only 90 yards. Niners on the other side give up 41.5 yards rushing.
Yeah.
You're not going to run on them.
Good.
A lot of pressure is going to be on Bosa. Got to have to make sure they keep Mahomes contained.
Well, and again, Bosa, Buckner, you're going to figure out a bunch of that, at least that front lineman to at least kind of step it up. But Bosa's going to be definitely that guy to at least kind of look out for, or at least he's going to be kind of that leader, so to speak, to get it done for the 49ers on the defense.
49ers do give up about 249 yards in the air, so
You're
that's right about where Mahomes likes to throw.
Well, and again, your issue is that you do have at least kind of the backup cornerback and backup kind of safeties right now compared to at least with one Richard Sherman. That is the only issue with the 49ers, but they held somewhat true, or at least kind of, again, that second half where it was starting to kind of collapse, or at least they got a little conservative, a little at least kind of sat back on their heels.
Well, they go in that prevent look. Again, the prevent defense has got to be the worst defense ever envisioned. Because, again, what they're trying to do is keep everything in the middle of the field, not work the sides, work the clocks. And, again, then you kind of get a little lazy.
Yeah.
And, again, too, your defensive front keeps rushing. And they get tired. I mean, they got their ears pinned back. They do wear down because every play is going to be a pass play. We got to wrap things up on this side of town. We are